Welcome back to HubSpot Excellence, and today we're going to look at lead scoring. This should be a perfect introductory video for HubSpot's lead scoring, especially if you're just getting started with HubSpot's new lead scoring. So let's just dive right in. As you can see, we're in HubSpot right now. In the left sidebar, we're going to go to marketing, and then here at the bottom, you should have lead scoring. And here you can see HubSpot's new lead scoring system. Now, since for this specific account, I haven't set these up yet before. You can see the introduction screen here with all of the different options. So we can improve conversion rates with lead scoring, we can align your sales and marketing, and we can save time. Now, what does this mean exactly? Lead scoring is a perfect system to manage the handover from marketing to sales, especially when you're managing a larger volume of leads. This is particularly helpful since you aren't always able to manually check all of those leads and keep track of where they are in their life cycle. And that's where lead scoring comes in. So we can score these leads on two different levels. So we can score them based on activity and we can score them based on demographics, for example. And based on these scores, we can then automate the handoff to sales. So let's dive right in. As we can see, we have two options here. We can start with AI, which is available for certain plans, or we can start from scratch, which is available for marketing professional or higher. So we're going to start from scratch here. As you can see here, we can do scoring for contacts and for companies, but we'll just start with contacts here, and I'll show companies in a moment as well. So first of all, for contacts here, you can see that we have three different options. So two of them I just mentioned. We have our engagement score. So based on any interactions that leads take with our marketing materials, we can adapt our score based on that. We have a contact fit score, so that's more based on demographics and other criteria. And then we can also do a combined score, which is more or less aligned with the old way that HubSpot used to do lead scoring. But as you will see soon, this system is a little bit more advanced than what it used to be. So let's create our first contact engagement score. We'll click on create here. And then as you can see here, we need to create our first event group. So we can have multiple groups here, and then at the top we can see the score limit. This is for all of the groups together. So it's 100 points right now. We have just one group, so we can have 100 points within this group. Then we want to add event criteria within this group. So let's first have a look at our web event, for example. Here we can decide if we want to add some points based on certain pages that a user visits. So we go to URL path here, then contains any of, and for example, when they look at the pricing page, we want to add 10 points here. So another one, when they go to one of our content offers, we want to add another 5 points. Then we'll add some more events here. So let's also have a look at forms. So let's say when they submit a certain form, they register for one of our events. And let's say this is a pretty important event. We want to give 25 points for that event. Then for another form submission, let's say when they book a meeting. For a meeting, we want to add 50 points. Then we want to look at more events. For example, we want to look at a contact finished viewing a certain document. And then we choose the document that we want to add here. So let's say this is the hospitality solutions. When they finished looking at that document, we want to add another 20 points. And then finally, let's say we want to look at marketing emails, click link in a certain email. I don't really have a great marketing example in the system here right now, but let's say you send out an email gauging the interest for a specific product that you have. And one of the links in the email shows you that this customer has a lot of valuers, or more at the bottom of the sales funnel. So let's say the link says the 3 things you need to know when you want to have your pool installed tomorrow, for example, or something that resembles that urgency. You can add that in here as well. And when they clicked a link in that email, we can add another 10 points, for example. to this group here. So now we have a total score of 100 for this group. These are the points within the group. And then if we want, we can also add decay scores. So for example, we can say that we want to reduce the scores every 3 months, because any activity that somebody takes is less value the more time passes, right? So that's what this system is for. And then we can give this group a name. Now we can add an additional group if we want. So if we want to add another event group and we want to balance that score a little bit, let's say we want 30 points for this one. Now here you can say that we are at -30. So we need to adjust the other group so that it's balanced again. And then within this group, we can look at some other actions. For example, we could look at like more sales activities. So we can also name this group sales activities. And we could say call ended, call direction. So we can choose whether this is an inbound or an outbound call. So let's say the customer called us, it's an inbound call. Then we want to add 20 points here. And then we can also look at any sales emails and then see if we can get any replies on sales emails. We can also say that it has to be from like a certain sequence, for example, or when it occurred. So let's say this is within the last 30 days. And then we want to add 25 points for that as well. And then do one last one here. When the contact booked a meeting through a sequence. Let's say that was the event follow-up sequence. We want to add another 30 points there. And this will be our setup here. Now next we'll look at contacts, and here we can choose that we score all contacts except some. So we can limit the list here. So for example, if we want to exclude any contacts interested in properties over 1 million, we can do that here. Or we can also say the score is for specific contacts, and then we can choose the specific list that this score will be for. And then in settings, we can create the property label. So this is how it will show up within HubSpot. And then for the score thresholds, we can use these different colors here to signal how valuable a certain contact is for us. So for example, 0 to 49 points will be a low score label, will be red. Then 50 to 74 will be medium, it's yellow. 75 to 100, it will be green, and the score label is high. So then whenever we're ready here, we can review and turn this on. So we get an overview of everything that we chose here, and we can turn on this engagement score. So then we see that once we activated the engagement score, we also get an overview of all of the contacts that this will be applicable to. We will see the amount of contacts or the number of contacts that will be scored. And then we will also see the average score, the minimum score, and the maximum score. And we will also see the score distribution here in this graph as well. So this is really cool to see, and something that we did not have in the past. So this makes it really helpful. Now let's do one more. So let's have a look at companies here. And let's say we want to look at a company fit score. Let's build out this score. Again, we are working with these groups here, and here you can see what we can look at to create these company scores. As you see immediately, it looks a little bit different. So we can look not only at the different properties that a company has, but we can also use any associated objects like the contacts that are linked to a company, deals, tickets, and notes. This is really cool. So first of all, let's do a group where we just score the company, and we'll also call this company. Let's say we want to score this for 30 points. So if we look at company information, let's say we want to have a look at the annual revenue, and this is one of the things that will determine the fit. So let's say that we want to look at revenue between 1 million and 50 million. And that will give us 5 points. Then another one we want to look at, let's say for the industry, we have certain industries that we're focusing on. So let's say we're focused on airlines, we're focused on automotive, we're focused on aviation and aerospace. Commercial real estate is an interesting one for us as well. And let's see, the last one we want to add here, electronic manufacturing. So if it's any of these industries, we want to add another 5 points. And then let's do one last one here, but you get the idea. So we can basically look at like any of the properties here. I'm mainly looking at company information right now. So with like, if we look at activity, which I was about to do, I would say that that's more for like the activity score, obviously, but it's something we could technically look at here as well, but it would defeat the purpose of saying that it's like a certain fit. So let's say that we want to focus on a certain country. So let's say our main focus is the United States. No, you have to be careful here. Like if you use this property and you use like different terms within your system, that's why I usually would make this a drop down instead. You have to make sure that you add all of the different terms that you would use here to be sure that this score works properly. So let's add this one as well. Then we'll look at another object next. Let's actually make a separate group for that. So we have 30 points here, and then we want to look at the contacts. And we'll do another 70 here. And then one thing here is going to be job function. Let's say if we have a contact that we have the CEO for this company, or that we have the COO or the CTO. If we have one of those people, we want to add 10 points here. Then another thing we could look at, let's say we want to look at the employment seniority here as well. If we have people that are VP or director level, then I want to add another 10 points. But then if I would also have the owner here, like that would be even better. I want to add 15 points for that one. Let's see if there's like one more thing we can look at here. And like just to give you some more context on how I want to build out these scoring systems is that usually I will look at the data within the system that we already have and see for like any companies that recently closed, what were the different metrics that played a role there. So instead of like just going through this list here, I would instead go through recently closed companies, look at what type of contacts we have there, and look at all of the different metrics that played a role in closing that business. And that will help you determine what it is you want to look at here within the system. Okay, so let's look at lifecycle stages here. So this only works when you have your contact lifecycle stages disconnected from the company lifecycle stages, because otherwise it will make like less of a difference here. But here we could say that if we have any contacts that are linked to this company with, for example, a sales qualified lifecycle stage, that company will also be a better fit. So let's say we want to look at sales qualified leads and opportunities here. Well, let's actually do it separately. So let's first do marketing qualified leads. If you have any marketing qualified leads, I want to add 5 points. Then if I have any sales qualified leads, I want to add 10 points. And lastly, if I have any opportunities here, let's say opportunities. So let's have a look at opportunities here. If I have any opportunities, I want to give that 15 points. Now, to just give you some examples of what else we could add here. So we could also look at any associated tickets or associated nodes. And with nodes, you're going more like quality data, I would say. So we can actually look at if any of those nodes contain like something that can gauge interest. So if any of those nodes have the text looking to buy within 3 months, we want to add another 30 points here. Let's say that this is 10, and then we'll make this 60. So we create some room for that. All right, and you can do the same thing if you want to do this for tickets and for deals. It works the same way. So this is how we create a company score. And again, this is for the company fit. This is not about activity. So that's why we didn't really look at any activity related metrics in here. Here, the same thing as for contacts. We can create this contact or this company score better for all of the companies within the system, and we can exclude up to 5 lists if we want to do that. Or we can also score specific companies based on lists that we have in the system. Then for settings, same thing. So we can change the property label, how it will show up in the company records. And we can also change these thresholds if we choose to do so. And then we can just review it, see if everything looks fine, and then we turn it on. And now we have a company fit score. So here we can see the same metrics as we do for the contact score as well. So this is all really helpful to get a better idea of where contacts and companies within our system are. HubSpot can have a lot of data within the system. You will have hundreds, if not thousands of contacts within HubSpot. And same for companies. You will have a bunch of companies in there. And it's really important to be able to determine like which of those companies are more valuable right now or should be prioritized right now. So these scoring systems should really help your sales team to find who they should focus on right now. That's the purpose of this entire system. I hope this video was really helpful to you. If you like this video, you probably also like this video right here about how to set up your sales pipeline for sales success. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video for more HubSpot excellence. Bye.